3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Wild Josh from Geek-Cetera, and I'm joined today by Ezra, Chase, and newcomer Tommy. And today we're going to talk about the Batman. Not the character, the Batman, but the trailer, the Batman. Now, let's get geeky.
I'm Batman.
So DC fandom was just a couple days ago, and we got trailers for the Batman. We got a trailer for Justice League Snyder Cut. We got a trailer for Wonder Woman 1984. But we're going to talk specifically about the Batman. So to get right into it, Tommy is our resident Batman guru. So let's go right over to you, Tommy. What did you think of this trailer?
I gotta say it definitely got me very excited for this film, even though it's not gonna be released for another year. I've been very excited for this movie since I heard that Matt Reeves is gonna be directing it. He did Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes movies, and Cloverfield. That one.
I always think of Cloverfield as J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I think JJ wrote it, and then Matt Reeves directed it.
Okay.
I'm not sure, or produced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
Okay,
some
cool.
of my thoughts.
So I went into this trailer not really knowing anything about what was like coming. So I watched it and
I went into this trailer not knowing anything.
Well, I mean, I know like the Batman character and like the villains, but I went in going, I don't know who the villains are in this. I don't know. I know what's his name? Robert Pattinson is playing Batman. That's all I knew. So I was confused at the end as to who even the villain was. I was like, I kind of feel like it might be the Riddler, but I'm not sure that it was. I didn't see a guy that I was like, oh yeah, that's the Riddler. So, because like Jim Carrey wasn't there.
The fact that there was like rhyming within the first 30 seconds of the trailer,
but I don't know
like,
enough.
That seems like it's pretty clear cut.
Yeah. Well, I don't know enough about like DC. Like, isn't there like another not Taskmaster? Who did in the Flash? Who did Mark Hamill play?
Trickster.
Trickster. So I'm like, maybe it's some other character that I don't know. And then it wasn't until later I was talking to Ezra, and he was like, "Oh, the Penguin was in there too." And I was like, "I didn't see the Penguin," so I had to go back and look and like do research. And when I saw that was Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I was like, "No."
Yeah, he was
like
unrecognizable.
did like something happen to him like in the last few years? I didn't realize. Like, did he like get hit by a train or something? I don't know. Like, he did not look like himself, but I guess that's movie magic.
So, yeah, I was wondering if it was prosthetics or if he actually.
It must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was talking to you, I literally just looked it up, and the first thing that came up was like, oh, the Penguin. I was like, oh, all right, well, maybe that's the Penguin then. And then I watched it again. I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's the Penguin. But I was just thinking, so like, as far as Batman movies go, this is a reboot? Question mark.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering too.
Oh.
And well, the other thing too is it's called The Batman. There's no like, subtitle. So
it's kind of a funny name for Batman because there's been so many Batmen. Who is the Batman?
Well, so then it seems you see, at least from my very limited point of view, what looks like him kind of building the Batmobile in a garage rather than already having a Batmobile, and it looks primitive compared to other Batmobiles that we have seen in Batman movies.
I feel too that there was a scene, maybe I didn't know if it was a flashback or not, where Robert Pattinson's character is wearing what looked like an early Batman suit, where it's almost like just like a pulled down cap or something like that.
Yeah.
Did anyone else notice that? I don't know. I mean,
not notice that.
No.
When he was on the motorcycle or something.
Yeah. Oh, Tommy just cut out.
You were saying that he looked like he was wearing a primitive or like
Yeah,
an
like
early and yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
You said something about him on the motorcycle.
Oh right, yeah. He had like a bandana or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that maybe I didn't, not knowing that it was going to be a reboot. I thought maybe it was like a flashback, but if it's a reboot, maybe they're just going back to the origin story.
Well, the director said it's set to like at year 2 of him being Batman.
Okay.
So
they're kind of pulling like a Spider-Man Homecoming thing where they're just like, there was an
just
origin
jumping.
and we're not even gonna worry about it because you know what that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be better because everyone knows the origin story, and it's why waste, a whole bunch of your movie and your runtime on something that everyone knows.
The dude got bit by a radioactive bat.
And his uncle died. Wait, no.
But this is just
a radioactive bat shot his parents.
Not that I know that I tend to be the DC hater of the group, but it just like they come out with, they have this big event, DC fandom, right? And you're all excited, and then they roll out this extremely disjointed universe where none of the characters are connected, because now we have a brand new Batman, but we're putting out a Justice League again, but we have a brand new Batman going back to the beginning, but it's not the same Batman, and this Batman's got long dark hair. Like, when did Batman ever have long dark hair? Oh well.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It did make me more interested than I was before. Like, initially when I heard Robert Pattinson Batman, I was not interested. I was like, sparkly vampire Batman? No, thank you. But now it looked pretty good.
I'm kind of wondering if DC's finally realized that they are not Marvel, and so if they're gonna try and like reboot some of their old characters and keep that story as not a connected universe type thing. So like if they'll reboot Batman and then not have him fight Superman kind of thing, and leave those two entities separated on their own fields, knowing this is a good standalone, let's not try and be a giant connected universe.
It worked for Marvel though really well. I think they really want that money that Marvel got.
But I think they have to realize that if they do it separately, they're less competing with Marvel than if they're trying to do it together. Because if they're doing it together, they have to try and hold up to the standard that the Avengers set. Whereas if you do it as one-off films, it's much easier to have your Batman compared to just your Spider-Man Homecoming than it is to have your Justice League compared to the Avengers.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. I know nothing.
That's not true. You know something.
Not about DC.
But what else was there in that trailer that we can talk about? Well, I didn't read the article, but one of our listeners, Colton, he sent us an article about how the bad guys in this movie are not actually the main bad guys are not actually Riddler or Penguin. They're the Court of Owls. Is that what it was? I don't know. And that
Tommy, explain to us.
I've never heard that phrase "Court of Owls" before in my life, so I was like, maybe
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
So, well, that's funny because one of the new Batman video games, the Court of Owls are the main villain. So I'm wondering if that's getting confused.
Oh, maybe. But is that the new Gotham Knights or something that's coming out?
Yeah.
So what is the Court of Owls? Is that a thing from the comics, or is that just something from the video game?
Yeah, it's the when DC did the New 52, the first Batman story that they had was the Court of Owls, which was like a kind of a cult of like the rich people of Gotham who like controlled crime, like an Illuminati type organization.
Okay.
And they had like assassins called Talons that pretty scary.
Would they use other villains like a Riddler in a and a penguin and kind of be like pulling the strings behind the scene, or were that
Yeah,
they kind of separate?
I don't remember. I think I feel like they were separate, but
It could
I
be a
w-
direction they're going, though. I mean,
Yeah,
right.
I just worry that when you start introducing too many villains, the story can get like muddled and like confusing. I think of the second Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, where they had like a really lame Rhino, and they had Electro, and that was just kind of like things kind of got muddled. They had too many like villains. I mean, I guess that wasn't a really. Wasn't there
It's
someone else in that one too?
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. That's right. Yeah. So there's like, how many villains can you have?
it is funny how that works, where we can have like 50 superheroes on screen at a time,
Yeah.
but it's like more than one villain. It's just like this is convoluted and confusing.
You can have one villain and one henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I mean, it is true in a way, because I feel like there's only so much screen time to develop a villain. Whereas like, so Thanos did have his servants, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't really like explained or developed that much. They were just kind of there, and then they got killed.
See, the thing I liked about so far, anyways, with the Marvel universe and what they've done, is that the bad guys have always had a reason for being bad. It wasn't, they were just like, I hate movies that give you a bad guy and they're just like, oh, he's bad because he's bad. And they don't really have a full fleshed out story as to why they're doing the things. To me, people aren't really like that. Like, they usually have a reason why they do something. So, that's why I really liked like Thanos. Like he had this whole plan where, from his point of view, he was actually the good guy.
Yeah.
But from everyone else's, he was the bad guy.
And the hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Exactly. So I just hope that these bad guys in this one aren't just being jerks, but they actually have a reason why they're doing something.
I'm sure. Do you get much more into the villain development in the comics, Tommy? Because I'm not a huge comic person, but I know that you have a vault.
What was the question?
Do they like get way more into the villain development in the comics?
Yeah.
Like, do you find out why the Riddler does riddles and why he is bad?
Yeah, and and sometimes they do it in like cartoons and stuff, and it gets like picked up by the comics, like influenced. Like the Mr. Freeze and the way his wife is like in a coma, and he's trying to give her a cure.
Yeah.
I think that was created by the 90s Batman cartoon, and then was
and then they ran
brought
with it
into the comics. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, wasn't that the case with even the character Harley Quinn? Like, she was for the cartoon series, like, and then and then they like made a comic series around her.
Yeah, because she was so popular.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Anything else?
I have another question for. I guess this one's for everybody, but especially I want to get Tommy's opinion on this since he is my DC boy. Are you glad that this is not going to revolve around the Joker?
Yeah, I feel like it's a breath of fresh air.
What do you think, Josh?
Well, I mean, the Joker. They just came out with that Joker movie. So you would think that like maybe they would tie them together and been like, okay, the Joker is the bad guy in this one, and like tried to do some kind of shared universe. But like you said, Chase, it doesn't seem like it seems like they've come to the realization that they're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, instead of giving us a totally different Joker, I'm very happy that they just said, let's go with some other bad guys.
Yeah, from a pure standalone film like viewpoint, I think it is a good idea to do a different villain that we haven't really seen much screen time from. And I think a lot of people are kind of psyched about the Batman universe in general just because of the Gotham TV show. I mean, it was pretty popular, and I think it really introduced some villains that, like a lot of people didn't know about or like weren't very familiar with. So I feel like if they keep going in that direction, I think people can be excited for other villains that aren't just the Joker and Bane. Like there are other villains to to the Batman universe.
Yeah.
what did you?
Oh, sorry. What's
I
that?
was gonna say I was gonna pivot and ask what you guys thought of Catwoman in the trailer.
You just see her so quickly. Who's playing? What's the actress that's playing her?
Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, okay. Lenny's daughter, Lenny Kravitz. I mean, I like that character, Catwoman. But is she considered another villain?
She's kind of in between. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's an anti-hero.
Yeah, exactly. Like she does bad things, but she's not like fully bad.
She's like a villain and also a love interest.
Yeah, right.
I just feel bad for Robert Pattinson because he's kind of typecast, I think,
After the Twilight movies?
I mean, he played a Batman, and now he's the Batman.
I don't feel bad for Robert Pattinson because he's got way more money than I do.
Do you think he's gonna do a baseball movie next?
Good one, Tommy.
That's a really good one. I love that. That's pretty funny.
All
right, I think is that all we have on?
I don't know what else there is to talk about in there. I watched the trailer twice, and I definitely got more the second time through.
I think it looks dark.
Yeah.
I want to say dark in like the fact that I don't have much exposure to Batman movies. I think I've watched one, and I know that Batman is
You haven't watched the
I watched
Christopher Nolan ones?
I watched Batman Begins ?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Liam Neeson? Whichever one is the one with Liam Neeson.
The one that has Ra's al Ghul. Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched that one. I haven't watched any other ones. And that was dark, but just in the trailer I feel like they showed us a much deeper side to like I don't know, at least how dark when Batman was just sitting there punching that one guy like 87 times. Like this is
he mauled him.
Yeah, that's when I realized it was going to be a darker film.
What is wrong with you?
He didn't just knock him out. He like went for the jugular there.
Yeah. And then the I am vengeance line that they dropped, I'm just like, okay, this is going to be a heavier movie.
Yeah.
I really
Well, if it's earlier in the story, then
yeah.
Makes sense.
Is it still RP? Or do we have a rating for it?
It's not even out until 2021, so I don't think
it's not even. It's still in production, so.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But.
Well, okay. What I more meant was like, do they have a eye on a rating that they want, or?
I haven't heard. Why do you think they could go for an R rating?
I'm from the trailer alone. I think it is possible.
I saw an interview that said the director said that he's like towing the line between PG and R, or PG-13 and R, and he's done that in the past with films, making it just enough so it's not R-rated.
You know what I always felt like, I don't know why this hasn't caught on.
Why do you have a knife?
Because I'm the Batman.
No,
I just got this knife. I just got this knife and I really like it. It's fun to play with because you just go. But anyways.
And Tommy's got a sword on the wall behind him, so I guess.
So what I've always wondered, why directors don't go for making a movie that, like, the same movie that's PG-13 and rated R, like, and you can put it in the theater and run them at the same time, and you can go and pick and see which one you want to see. It seems like they would broaden their audience by doing that. Especially when like
Yeah.
some of the stuff that makes a movie rated R is like the stupidest stuff in the world. Like, oh, you take out those couple F-bombs and it's PG-13. Why wouldn't you just do that?
Yeah.
Like, and broaden your
Yeah.
audience, you know? I don't know. So, what do you guys think about the Batman? Are you excited for it? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I don't know. I'm Batman. Until next time, I'm Batman.
Candy corn. It's like little tiny traffic cones.
I gotta find a knife. Hold on.
Perfectly balanced as all
Cool.
things should be.
Oh,
Oh jeez,
no.
I was gonna drop that.
Why did you cut your finger off?